The warning klaxons aboard the UES Horizon blared to life, startling Lieutenant Rena Hayes from her research. The small research vessel's AI spoke with uncharacteristic urgency. Unidentified craft detected. Impact event on Kepler 247 to surface. Multiple energy signatures consistent with advanced technology. Rena's heart raced as she rushed to the bridge, her dark curls floating in the low gravity. Captain James Richardson stood at the helm, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display showing their moon's cratered surface. Lieutenant Hayes, your expertise is needed. We've detected life signs unlike anything in our database. The Horizon wasn't equipped for rescue operations, but they were the only human presence in this sector of space. As they approached the crash site, Rena's scientific curiosity battled with her apprehension. The wreckage came into view. Sleek, crystalline architecture unlike any human design, now shattered across the moon's gray surface. Energy readings are fluctuating, Rena reported, studying her instruments. Whoever is down there, they're still alive, but the signature is weakening. She turned to the captain. Permission to lead the rescue team. Richardson nodded grimly. Granted. But Hayes, we have no idea what we're dealing with. First contact protocol remains in effect. Within minutes, Rena led a 3-person team across the moon's surface in their environmental suits. The crash site was a tableau of destruction, with crystalline shards scattered across a kilometer-wide impact zone. As they approached, Rena noticed something extraordinary. The fragments were pulsing with a soft internal light. Over here, called technical specialist Raj Patel, his voice crackling through the comm. I'm detecting concentrated life signs. They found the survivor partially buried under a section of hull. The alien was humanoid in basic form, but their body appeared to be composed of translucent, crystal-like material that emitted a pale blue luminescence. The light was flickering erratically, like a failing lamp. Rena knelt beside the being, her xenobiology training kicking in as she assessed the situation. The alien's crystalline form had cracked in several places, and what appeared to be a luminescent fluid was leaking from the wounds. Their eyes, geometric patterns of light behind crystalline facets, fixed on Rena. The alien's hand reached out, touching Rena's visor. Immediately, her mind filled with fragments of sensation, pain, fear, and a desperate need to communicate. The alien was telepathic, projecting their thoughts through physical contact. I'm Lieutenant Rena Hayes, she spoke aloud, placing her own hand against her chest, then pointing to the alien. Can you understand me? The response came as a mixture of images and emotions, coalescing into a name. Thessa. The alien was called Thessa, and they were dying. We need to get them to the ship, Rena commanded. Their core temperature is dropping rapidly. She had no idea if human medical technology would be compatible with Thessa's crystalline biology, but they had to try. The team carefully lifted Thessa onto a hover stretcher. As they moved, Rena noticed patterns in the crystal fragments surrounding them. Not random debris, but what appeared to be writing or scientific notation. She quickly captured images for later analysis. Back aboard the Horizon, they converted the research lab into a makeshift medical bay. Rena worked frantically to understand Thessa's biological needs, analyzing the crystal fragments and the luminescent fluid. Through brief moments of contact, Thessa shared crucial information about their species, the Luminary, a civilization of crystalline beings who drew energy directly from starlight. They're photosynthetic, Rena explained to the captain. But not like Earth plants. They process stellar radiation through their crystalline matrix, converting it into biological energy. The crash damaged their ability to process light efficiently. Richardson stroked his chin thoughtfully. Can we help them? Maybe. Rena turned to her workstation, where she had been analyzing the luminary writing. Their notation suggests they understand quantum mechanics at a level far beyond ours. If we can repair the damaged crystal matrix. Hours turned into days as Rena worked to save Thessa's life. She rigged a device to concentrate and modify the ship's lighting to match the specific wavelengths Thessa needed. The luminaries' flickering grew stronger, their wounds slowly beginning to heal as new crystal formed along the cracks. During this time, their ability to communicate improved. Thessa shared images of their homeworld, a crystal planet orbiting a blue giant star, cities growing like geometric gardens reaching toward the sky. They were a peaceful species, dedicated to scientific exploration and artistic expression through light and crystal. Thessa had been on a solo research mission, studying stellar phenomena, when their ship's navigation system failed. The crash should have been fatal, but human intervention had changed that fate. Through their telepathic connection, Rena felt Thessa's profound gratitude, along with something else, hope for what this chance encounter could mean for both their species. As Thessa recovered, Rena spent countless hours documenting everything she learned about luminary biology and culture. This wasn't just a rescue mission anymore. It was first contact with a civilization that could revolutionize human understanding of life itself. But their peaceful recovery was about to be interrupted. The ship's sensors detected multiple vessels entering the system, and they weren't responding to hails. The calm of scientific discovery was about to give way to a fight for survival, testing the newly formed bond between human and luminary in ways neither could have anticipated. The approaching vessels cast long shadows across Kepler 247's barren surface. Captain Richardson's voice crackled through the ship's comm system. "Lieutenant Hayes, we need to move. Those ships match known pirate signatures from the outer rim." Rena looked up from her workstation, where Thessa's crystalline form pulsed with steadily strengthening light. The luminary was healing, but too slowly to risk movement. "We can't evacuate yet, Captain. Thessa's matrix is still stabilizing." Through their telepathic connection, Thessa projected images of concern and urgency. The luminary understood the danger better than anyone. Their research had made them a target before. Pirates coveted their advanced technology, especially their quantum navigation systems. "Your ship," Thessa communicated through touch, geometric patterns of light flowing beneath their crystalline surface. "It has defenses." "Basic ones," Rena replied, her hand pressed against the cool crystal of Thessa's arm. "We're a research vessel, not a warship." She felt Thessa's anxiety spike through their connection, accompanied by fragments of memory. Previous encounters with space pirates, the violence and destruction they brought. The ship's AI interrupted. "Multiple weapons signatures detected. Hostile vessels will be in range in 17 minutes. Richardson's voice came through again. "Hayes, prep your lab for lockdown. If we can't run, we'll have to hide." The captain's tone carried years of experience handling crisis situations. "Those pirates are looking for salvage from the crash. They might not expect survivors." Rena worked quickly, shutting down non-essential systems in the lab while maintaining the critical light therapy keeping Thessa alive. The luminary watched her movements with analytical interest, their crystalline eyes tracking each decision. "Your technology," Thessa projected, "primitive but innovative." The alien's thoughts carried no judgment, only curiosity. "Perhaps together." Rena paused in her preparations. "What do you mean?" Through their telepathic link, Thessa shared complex quantum formulas, knowledge of how luminary technology manipulated light and energy. Rena's eyes widened as she began to understand. "Captain," she called over the comm, "I have an idea." Working together, Rena and Thessa modified the ship's external lighting systems. The luminary's knowledge of quantum physics, combined with Rena's practical engineering skills, allowed them to create a sophisticated camouflage system. By precisely manipulating light waves, they could bend radiation around the horizon, effectively rendering it invisible to basic scanners. As the pirates entered the system, the horizon powered down to minimal life support. In the darkness of the lab, Thessa's bioluminescence provided the only light, their crystalline form casting geometric shadows on the walls. Through touch, they shared their life story with Rena. Their role as a scientist, their fascination with other species, their hope that this encounter might lead to official contact between their civilizations. Hours passed in tense silence as pirate ships swept the area. Their crude scanning beams passed over the horizon repeatedly, but the modified light-bending system held. Eventually, frustrated by their failure to find valuable salvage, the pirates began to withdraw. But their departure revealed a new problem. The energy required to maintain the camouflage had drained the ship's reserves, leaving them with barely enough power to maintain life support. They were stranded. "I can help," Thessa projected, their light pulsing stronger now. "My people, we store energy. Share it." Rena shook her head. "You're still healing. The energy transfer could kill you." Thessa's crystalline features shifted in what Rena had learned was their version of a smile. "Trust, Lieutenant Hayes. Like I trusted you." With Richardson's reluctant approval, they modified the ship's power intake systems to accept energy from Thessa's crystalline matrix. The luminary began to glow intensely, channeling stored stellar energy into the ship's systems. Rena monitored their vital signs anxiously, ready to stop the process at the first sign of danger. As power returned to the ship, Rena made an extraordinary discovery. The energy transfer hadn't weakened Thessa, it had accelerated their healing. The process of channeling energy had stimulated their natural regenerative abilities, causing new crystal growth along their damaged sections. "Your ship's energy signature," Thessa explained, "resonates with my matrix frequency. Harmonic healing." Their thoughts carried satisfaction and excitement at this unexpected synthesis of their technologies. Captain Richardson joined them in the lab, watching in amazement as Thessa's light filled the room. "Lieutenant Hayes," he said quietly, "I believe this goes beyond first contact protocols. We're looking at the potential for a whole new era of human-alien cooperation." Rena nodded, her hand still linked with Thessa's crystalline one. Through their connection, she felt the luminaries' agreement and their growing hope for the future. But she also sensed something else, a warning. The pirates' arrival wasn't random. Someone had detected the crash and spread the word. As the Horizon's systems came back online, Rena realized their journey was far from over. They had survived this encounter, but word of a luminary survivor would spread quickly through the criminal networks of the Outer Rim. And next time, their pursuers might come better prepared. They needed to get Thessa to safety, not just for the luminary's sake, but for the future of human-alien relations. But with their location compromised and their resources depleted, reaching safety would test both species' ingenuity and trust to their limits. The Horizon's engines hummed to life, powered by the extraordinary fusion of human and luminary technology. They had escaped immediate danger, but Captain Richardson's expression remained grim as he studied the long-range scanners. "3 vessels just entered the system," he announced. "Larger than the pirates. Military grade." He turned to Rena and Thessa. "Someone's taking this hunt seriously." Rena felt Thessa's crystalline hand tighten on her arm, their telepathic connection flooding with images of sleek, predatory ships bearing insignias of the Shadowcrest Syndicate, an organization of technology thieves who had long sought luminary secrets. "They track quantum signatures," Thessa projected urgently. "My biology leaves trace." Their crystalline form pulsed with agitation, casting shifting patterns of light across the bridge. Technical specialist Raj worked frantically at his console. "Confirmed. They're following a quantum trail that matches the frequency of Thessa's crystal matrix. Standard countermeasures won't hide it." Rena's mind raced. The Horizon was a research vessel, never meant for running blockades or evading military ships. But they had something their pursuers didn't: direct access to luminary knowledge and human ingenuity. "The asteroid field," she suggested, pointing to a dense cluster on the star chart. "The mineral composition there could mask Thessa's quantum signature, if we can modify our shields to amplify the natural interference." Captain Richardson shook his head. "Too dangerous. One hit from those rocks at the speeds we'd need." "I can help," Thessa interrupted, their thoughts clear and determined. "My people, navigate by light, through crystal, like your fiber optics, but more. They projected an image of their own ship's navigation system, a crystalline array that processed light information faster than any computer. Understanding dawned on Rena's face. We can integrate Thessa's crystal fragments into our navigation array, create a hybrid system that would let us plot safe trajectories through the field at high speed. The next hours were a blur of activity, while Richardson kept them ahead of their pursuers through a series of evasive maneuvers. Rena and Thessa worked to modify the ship's systems. They carefully placed salvaged crystals from Thessa's ship around the Horizon's primary sensor array, with Thessa using their own energy to activate and align them. The modification was barely complete when the first shots from their pursuers lit up space around them. The Horizon dove into the asteroid field, its new hybrid navigation system coming alive with unprecedented clarity. Through the crystal array, they could see light bouncing between the asteroids, creating a real-time map of safe passages. Multiple ships still in pursuit, Raj reported. They're splitting up, trying to box us in. Thessa's consciousness merged with the crystal array, their entire form glowing with effort as they processed the light data. Through their telepathic link, Rena felt the strain this placed on the still-healing alien, but also their fierce determination. The Horizon wove through the asteroid field like a needle through fabric, each turn precise, each acceleration perfectly timed. Behind them, one of the pursuing ships misjudged a turn, clipping an asteroid and spinning out of control. Another fell behind, unable to match their navigation precision. But the lead ship stayed with them, its captain clearly experienced in asteroid field navigation. A shot grazed their shield, sending power fluctuations through the ship. In the crystal array, Rena saw Thessa's light flicker dangerously. They're hurting us, Richardson realized too late. That's not random fire. They're pushing us toward the field's center. Ahead, the asteroids grew denser, the safe passages narrower. Even with their enhanced navigation, they were running out of options. Then Thessa projected a new image, a massive asteroid ahead, its core riddled with natural tunnels created by ancient gas vents. Are you sure? Rena asked through their link, feeling Thessa's certainty mixed with desperation. The luminary's response came with crystalline clarity. Trust. Richardson looked at Rena, who nodded. Do it. The Horizon plunged into a tunnel barely wider than the ship itself. Their hybrid navigation system mapped the tunnel network in real time, showing them a maze of passages through the asteroid's core. Behind them, their pursuer hesitated at the tunnel entrance, just long enough for a passing asteroid to clip their wing, sending them spinning away. They emerged on the other side of the field, their pursuer lost in the chaos behind them. But victory came at a cost. The strain of maintaining the navigation array had drained Thessa severely, their light dimming to a dangerous level. As Rena rushed to stabilize her friend, emergency alerts blared through the ship. The crystal array had overloaded their primary systems. They were bleeding atmosphere, running on emergency power, and their long-range communications were dead. They had escaped immediate danger, but now found themselves alone in an uncharted sector of space, with a critically wounded alien and a damaged ship. Their only hope lay in finding help before their pursuers regrouped, or before their failing systems gave out completely. Through their weakening telepathic connection, Thessa shared one last image, a distant space station, neutral territory where both humans and Luminary would be welcome. But reaching it would require crossing a region of space known for phenomena that had swallowed ships whole, the infamous Starless Sea. The Starless Sea lived up to its name. Outside the Horizon's viewports, the usual stellar backdrop had vanished, replaced by an unsettling void that seemed to swallow light itself. Their ship's remaining systems struggled to make sense of the phenomenon, sending cascades of error messages through the barely functioning displays. In the makeshift medical bay, Rena monitored Thessa's weakening vital signs. The luminary's crystalline form had dulled to a pale, flickering glow, their once brilliant facets now clouded with stress fractures from their earlier effort. The void, Thessa projected weakly, their thoughts fragmenting like light through damaged crystal. It hungers for energy. My people, avoid this place. Rena understood why. Whatever cosmic phenomenon created the starless sea seemed to drain energy at a quantum level. Their ship's power systems were deteriorating faster than they could compensate, and Thessa's photosynthetic biology was suffering in the absence of stellar radiation. Captain Richardson's voice came through the failing comm system. Lieutenant Hayes, we need Thessa on the bridge. Something's wrong with the crystal array. Supporting her alien friend, Rena helped Thessa to the bridge. The hybrid navigation system they'd created was behaving erratically, the salvaged crystals pulsing with random patterns of light. Raj worked frantically at his console, trying to stabilize the readings. The void's affecting the crystal resonance, he explained. We're flying blind in here. Thessa placed a trembling crystalline hand on the array. Through their telepathic link, Rena felt their shock. Not random, they projected. Patterns, like my people's quantum language. The void. It speaks. The revelation hit Rena like a physical force. The starless sea wasn't just a void. It was an ancient communication medium, perhaps left behind by some long-vanished civilization. The energy drainage wasn't random. It followed specific patterns, like a language written in quantum fluctuations. Can you translate it? She asked Thessa. The luminary's form brightened slightly with determination. Together, your mind helps focus mine. Your ship's crystals can amplify. What followed was unlike anything in human experience. Thessa linked with the crystal array while maintaining physical contact with Rena, creating a three-way interface between human consciousness, luminary quantum sensing, and the voice of the void itself. Through this connection, patterns emerged. The starless sea was a network of quantum corridors, its apparent energy drain a side effect of maintaining these ancient pathways. With proper attunement, they could ride the quantum currents instead of fighting them. But the knowledge came with a price. Each moment connected to the void drained more of Thessa's remaining strength. Their crystalline form began to crack under the strain, hairline fractures spreading across their surface. Thessa, stop, Rena pleaded, feeling their pain through their link. This is killing you. The luminary's response came with surprising strength. Some things worth the cost. Trust goes both ways, Rena Hayes. Captain Richardson watched the exchange with concern. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it fast. Hull integrity is failing, and life support won't last another hour in these conditions. Through their shared connection, Thessa guided Rena's hands over the crystal array. Together, they began to adjust the resonance frequencies, tuning them to match the quantum language of the void. The horizon shuddered as new energy patterns flowed through its systems. Hard to port, Thessa projected suddenly. Now. Richardson gave the order, and the ship turned sharply. A massive quantum current caught them, pulling them into its flow. The drain on their systems immediately lessened as they rode the ancient pathway. But they weren't alone in the void. Other quantum signatures pulsed in the darkness. The pursuing ships had followed them in, and they were learning to read the currents too. More ships approaching from the periphery, Raj reported. They're trying to box us in again. Thessa's light flickered dangerously. Secondary pathway. Intersection ahead. Risky, but could lose them. The choice was costly. Taking the secondary quantum current would mean exposing Thessa to even more severe energy drain, likely pushing them past their limits. But staying on their current path meant certain capture. Through their telepathic link, Rena felt Thessa's unwavering resolve. The luminary had already decided they would risk everything to protect both their new human friends and the future of peaceful cooperation between their species. As they prepared for the desperate maneuver, Rena made a discovery in the quantum readings that changed everything. The secondary pathway didn't lead to random space. It connected directly to their destination, the neutral station. The ancients who built the starless sea had created a network of quantum shortcuts, hidden within the void. But reaching that sanctuary would require one final sacrifice, testing the bonds of trust and friendship forged between human and luminary to their absolute limit. As their pursuers closed in, Rena faced a choice that would shape not only their fate, but the future of interspecies relations in this sector of space. The quantum currents of the starless sea swirled around the horizon, their ancient patterns telling a story that only Thessa could fully comprehend. The luminary's crystalline form had become almost transparent, their inner light barely visible as they maintained their connection to the void's mysterious network. The shortcut. Thessa projected weakly, their thoughts fragmenting like light through cracked crystal, requires resonance, perfect harmony between ship, void, and living crystal. Rena understood the implications immediately. To navigate the quantum shortcut, Thessa would need to fully merge with the ship's crystal array, using their own essence as a quantum key. The process would likely shatter their physical form completely. There has to be another way, Rena insisted, her hand pressed against Thessa's cooling surface. Through their telepathic link, she felt the luminary's calm acceptance of what must be done. My people believe energy cannot be destroyed, Thessa shared, their thoughts suddenly crystal clear, only transformed. This is not an ending, Rena Hayes. It is evolution. Behind them, the pursuing ships were learning to navigate the quantum currents with increasing skill. Their weapons' fire disrupted the void's patterns, creating dangerous fluctuations in the ancient network. The Horizon's damaged hull couldn't take much more stress. Captain Richardson's voice cut through the tension. Whatever we're going to do, it needs to be now. Hull breach on Deck 3. Life support failing. Thessa's form began to pulse with renewed purpose, their light synchronizing with the crystal array's frequencies. Through their deepening connection, they shared with Rena not just thoughts, but the fundamental understanding of quantum crystalline technology that their species had developed over millennia. Remember, they projected, their consciousness expanding to fill the ship's systems. This knowledge, our gift to humanity. Use it wisely. Before Rena could protest further, Thessa's physical form began to dissolve, their crystalline essence flowing into the ship's modified systems. The process released a cascade of pure quantum energy that rippled through the void, momentarily illuminating the starless sea with impossible colors. The pursuing ships faltered as their sensors were overwhelmed by the energy surge. In that moment, Thessa's consciousness, now one with the ship's systems, activated the quantum shortcut. Space itself seemed to fold around the horizon, the void's darkness giving way to a tunnel of crystalline light. The journey through the quantum shortcut lasted both an instant and an eternity. When they emerged, the neutral station hung before them like a jewel in space, its rotating rings catching the light of nearby stars. They had crossed half a sector in the blink of an eye. But victory came with profound loss. The crystal array, still humming with residual energy, no longer held any trace of Thessa's distinct consciousness. Yet something had changed within the ship itself. The Horizon's systems were operating at unprecedented efficiency, infused with a fundamental understanding of quantum crystalline technology. As station security vessels moved to intercept their pursuers emerging from conventional space, Rena made an extraordinary discovery. The ship's computer cores had been transformed, their traditional circuits partially replaced by growing crystalline structures that pulsed with familiar patterns of light. These formations, Raj observed, scanning the new growths, they're following the same principles as luminary biology. The ship is evolving. Through tears, Rena placed her hand against one of the crystal formations. A faint but unmistakable sensation brushed her consciousness. Not Thessa's full presence, but an echo of their friendship, preserved in the very structure of the transformed ship. The neutral station granted them immediate asylum, their arrival causing a sensation among both human and alien diplomatic circles. The Shadowcrest Syndicate's pursuit ships were detained, their crews facing justice for violations of multiple space treaties. In the days that followed, As Rena worked with human and alien scientists to understand the transformation of the horizon, she received an unexpected message. The Luminary High Council, after reviewing the quantum data recordings from their journey, had reached out to the United Earth Fleet with an historic proposal. The Horizon's hybrid technology, born from crisis and sacrifice, would serve as the foundation for a new era of cooperation between their species. The ship itself would become the first of a new class of vessels, crewed by both humans and Luminary, dedicated to exploration and scientific discovery. 6 months later, Rena stood on the observation deck of the newly rechristened Horizon, now officially designated as a joint human-Luminary research vessel. The crystalline growths had spread throughout the ship, creating a living network that merged the best of both species' technologies. As she prepared to embark on their first official mission, Rena touched one of the glowing crystal formations. The response was faint but clear, a familiar sensation of friendship and shared purpose, transformed but not lost. Thessa's final gift had created more than just a bridge between stars. They had forged a path toward a future where different species could truly understand and support each other. The stars beckoned, and somewhere in the quantum currents of space, new discoveries awaited. The Horizon's hybrid systems hummed with anticipation, carrying within them the legacy of an extraordinary friendship that had changed two civilizations forever.